interrupt our program to bring you a special broadcast.
Welcome to another exciting episode of The Burial Chamber. I'm your host, DeathBringer. We're here to talk to you about this last Sunday's pay-per-view, AWF SouthBound. What an exciting show. I didn't even expect all the things that happened this week. But let's just go back and recap a few things and tell those who didn't get to see the show a little bit about what happened, and maybe they'll go and watch it. Started the show off with the last remaining match before the finals of the Tag Team Turmoil Tournament. This was supposed to decide the number one contendership to the World Tag Team titles by the end of the show. First match of the night starts off with, once again, Night Stalker being forced to tag team with primetime Tim Sanders. They were supposed to face Zero and the Freak Mahid. Before the match even got started, Mahid is on whatever you want to call it, closed circuit TV, telling Zero about how he ain't gonna make it to the match. He's got something more important going on, and I'm not even going to go into what it looked like was going on. He was there with a friend, and there was some freaky deaky going on. You'll have to see the video to believe it. Needless to say, Zero had to face the two by himself. And it was quick but brutal. Night Stalker beating the hell out of Zero. Pulling him up a couple times before the count just to get a few extra licks in. Then tagging in Sanders. Sanders pulls off his finisher. 1, 2, 3. They advance to the finals. Crazy stuff. I don't know about that Mahid. I'm glad I haven't been there during any of his shenanigans. We move on. Next match is a hardcore match between James Houston and Snake. Now, this match was pretty rough. Lots of action. Very brutal. Poor Snake really didn't have a chance. Houston beat him from one side of the ring to the other. It was very bad. Very, very bad. Not much to say about this match except Houston looked awesome, as always. And I'll lay down some predictions now. I believe James Houston to be the next, once again, the next hardcore champion. Right following that match is the hardcore championship. Midnight versus Ghost. Now, Midnight having some issues. I don't know what his problem is. He thinks he's some kind of wrestling god or something. I don't know. But they get in the ring. It's supposed to be a limited hardcore match, which means that only each one is allowed to have one weapon. Only one weapon apiece. All right. Ghost's weapon of choice is a ladder. He brings a ladder to the ring. Many things you can do with a ladder. You can swing it, bang it, pound it, stick it. You can put it up and jump off of it. So he picked a pretty good weapon. I was impressed with his choice. Then Midnight chose the chains of his outfit. I thought it meant one weapon, but there's like 3 or 4 of those chains hanging off of his outfit. One weapon should be one weapon, not one group of weapons. But we digress. The match goes on. It's brutal. They're flinging, slinging. They're jumping off the ladder. They're banging off with those chains. Midnight continuously choking out Ghost with the chains. At several times he wrapped it around his neck and handcuffed him to a post, and poor Ghost had to try and find his way out of it. Fury names Night Stalker as a special guest referee for this match. So here you got somebody he's in for the championship himself in the ring, imposing some rules because it's limited hardcore. He's allowing the grab for the ropes break and stuff like that. Some stuff that probably shouldn't have gone down that way. Toward the end of the match, probably one of the... might have been a match turner, but it turned out it didn't. Ghost sets the ladder up, climbs to the top. He goes to what appears to be a swanton from the top of the ladder, and lands on the back of his neck. Cool potential here. He could have broke his neck. He could have paralyzed himself. Hell, he could have killed himself with this move. Midnight immediately jumps on him and tries to take advantage of it. Somehow or other, out of the blue, Ghost manages to break free. He manages to latch in the Ghost Buster, and bang, we have a new hardcore champion, Ghost. He managed to beat Midnight. There were some shenanigans in the ring. STD ended up out there to celebrate with his partner. His other tag partner for this match happens to be Midnight for the tag team turmoil tournament. Him and Midnight not getting along for some reason. There were some words exchanged. There were some blows exchanged. And they went their separate ways. But, new hardcore champion in Ghost, who moments later declared that the hardcore championship would no longer be considered the hardcore championship. It was now being considered the ABWA heavyweight championship. Trying to bring back the old Alba name, I don't know why. But apparently now our hardcore championship is no longer the hardcore championship. It's the ABA World Heavyweight Championship. Next match following on the heels. Extreme heart in this match. Just couldn't imagine it any other way. The outlaw Glenn Bell trying to regain his North American Championship from one Justin Chambers. Bell to the ring first. He climbs in the ring. He's waiting. The music cues, but it isn't Justin Chambers music. We're surprised to find the bombshell champion Denise Went coming to the ring, standing at ringside with her belt over her shoulder. Everybody's kind of confused. All of a sudden, Justin Chambers music hits. Chambers is at ringside. What's this? Him and Denise Went are like together or something. It's kind of unexpected. It was bizarre. And for Chambers and Dickens, there seem to be some things going on between the two of them here as of late. And this is just going to add to that. Went and Chambers don't get along at all. So, what future does this hold for De-Evolution? Anyway, the match continues. Chambers just showing a vicious, sadistic streak the whole match. Doing some pretty vicious, hard moves on Bell. Bell, though, refusing to give up easily. Showing tons of heart. More heart than I've seen anybody show in a long time down there. He should have re-won this thing, but in all, Chambers is just too awesome a wrestler, and he ends up retaining the North American Championship. I don't think we've seen the last of Glenn Bell, and I'm sure he may make another run on the North American Championship, and I hope to see that come down really soon. We go into the finals of the tag team turmoil match. Night Stalker, Primetime Tim Sanders, facing off against Midnight and STD, who've already had problems earlier in the night. Midnight comes to the ring. He's standing there, waiting for the music to cue. Gets angry at the whole thing with STD, turns around and walks out of the arena. Is he not going to wrestle? What's going on? Then, moments later, STD's music kicks on. Both men come through the curtain. STD's pushing Midnight back into the ring area. He's attacking him with what appears to be a golf club or something. And he beats Midnight down, tosses Midnight in the ring, then he leaves. And leaves Midnight to fend off the dogs in the ring. And like a pack of dogs they were, Stalker jumped on him and just started to take him out. Repeatedly not going for the pin, just like before. They keep going on and on and on until he finally lets Primetime Tim Sanders in the ring. They finish this thing off. 1, 2, 3. Your number one contenders to the World Tag Team titles, the Night Stalker and Primetime Tim Sanders. Everybody knows I don't like Primetime Tim Sanders. I never have. We've had our issues in the past. A lot of disputes over the Georgia Southern Championship. But even I have to give some props. I'm not crazy about the whole him and Night Stalker being a tag team thing, but they seem to be complimenting each other. They seem to be doing a good job. I have to give my props to Tim Sanders. He's looking good in the ring. He's starting to maybe come around to some of Night Stalker's ways of wrestling. Maybe Stalker can turn him into something. Maybe we got future Dark Alliance members somewhere in our future. I won't guarantee that. But maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. Who knows? But you're no number one contenders to the World Tag Team titles. Night Stalker and Primetime Tim Sanders. Finally, we finished the night off with the World Heavyweight Championship match. The Demon versus Chris Dickens, the legend. Fury gonna come out and decide that this match is going to be called the whole 9 yards. The only way to win this match is by knockout. You have to knock your opponent out cold in order to win. It's a 3-arm drop count. If you can't make the third arm, if you can't get your arm up, you're out of there. It's over with. Tons of weapons going on. Lots of heavy hitting, lots of big moves. Demon really looking impressive, keeping up with the legend. The legend, of course, he's a master in a hardcore match, and this was hardcore rules because it's by knockout only. There are no other rules. So there's garbage cans flying, and garbage lids, and tins, and Demon had his crowbar out there. The ladder was being used, and steel chairs, and you name it, it was being used in this match. At some point in time, the legend busted Demon open. Demon was bleeding all over the place. Referee did not call the match at any point in time. Fury had named himself the special guest referee for this match, so he's in the ring the whole time. At some point in time, it's looking like he's going to screw Chris Dickens. It's always on his agenda somewhere. End point. So, at that point, about 3/4 of the way into this match, Fury and Chris Dickens got into a little pushing and shoving match. There were some hostilities. Demon helping Fury try to get an upper hand on Chris Dickens. Fury went to go swing a chair to smash Dickens. Dickens ducked out of the way, and he creamed Demon, knocking Demon out cold. Knowing he had no other choice, he got down and grabbed Demon's arm, lifted him up. Once it fell. Twice it fell. He drug it out, and third one, it fell. He named a new heavyweight champion in Chris Dickens, the legend. Now, while all this celebrating's going on, Glenn Bell comes out to help Demon out of the ring. Justin Chambers comes out to help celebrate with Chris Dickens. STD's out there at ringside trying to help get his boys, the Night Riders, away from the ringside area. Chambers grabs Dickens' arm and raises him in the air and turned around and laid him out cold. He had just attacked Chris Dickens out of nowhere, beat him down, then got down on the ground and got in Dickens' face and told him de-evolution was over. It was no more de-evolution. he took his girl, and they left ringside and left Dickens in the ring. What does that mean for the World Tag Team Championship? If the Evolution isn't together anymore, who has the tag titles? What's going to happen with the tag team titles? We're going to have to figure this one out. They both have their own titles now. One's a North American champion, and the other one's the World Heavyweight champion. Do they even care about the World Tag titles anymore? Is Fury just going to take the titles away from them and hold them up? And we're going to have a whole new tournament to decide who's going to be the new World Tag Team champions. Do the number one contenders become the new World Tag Team champions, considering that they're the number one contenders and they just won this tournament? As the champions vacate the titles, does that mean that they get to be the new world champions? So many ways this thing can go. It's all on President Fury to decide how it's all going to go. So we'll take a look down this road and see what happens. The Evolution is over. We'll find out what Fury is going to decide is going to happen with these World Tag Team Championship belts. So, anyway, that's this week's episode of the Burial Chamber. Tune in next week, where I'm going to do a little talking on the Obwa crew. This should be interesting. See you next time.